Hi Deepak, how are you?
Yeah, hi, Pius, I'm fine. How about you?
Yeah, I'm also doing fine. Thanks for asking. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, myself, Deepak Kumar Singh. I have done B from Punjab University from 2020, and I have around 3 years of experience in IT. So, from past 3 years, I have worked in three companies. Last domain was my game. Before that, my Vidafra, there was yeah, like networking domain, that is the same only. And before that, I worked in 1 year in telecom domain. So after that, I my last project was some security based project was there from the Cisco side, and after that, before my I did some games project as well. From games project, I have done 7 to 8 project there also. And in telecom, my project was Ericsson Network Management System, that is ENMS management system. So basically, the project was for AT&T and T-Mobile. So there, for that purpose, we are maintaining the networks. Networks is like scheduling some like automation things. So these are the my overview that I have worked so far.
Okay, so what all tech stacks you have used in this project? Can you please tell me?
Yeah, so basically, I used Java, core Java, and like advanced Java, Spring Boot, and for database we have used NoSQL also, and we have used MySQL also, Oracle MySQL, and I have also exposure of some AWS cloud as well.
Okay, all right. So we'll start with Java and then we'll move on to the other tech stack like Spring Boot and MySQL. So let's start with core Java first.
Okay.
And so can you please tell me what are the major OOPS concept available in Java?
Yeah, basically major groups concept available in Java is abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. And if you like explaining all this in details, so abstraction is like just showing the just showing the just making it simple, just hiding the complexity of the functionality, just showing the simple functionality. Take an example of ATM. When we go to ATM, just we put the card and we put some our password and pin code, but behind the scene we don't know how this manipulation is working on. Just as a user, as a common man, we just see there, just we put the money, this much amount you want to withdraw, and that much amount is getting withdrawn, and that is detected by from our account, saving bank account. So this is the real world example from the abstraction. And basically we achieve abstraction by two ways. One is there in interface, and another one is there abstract class in our Java. Coming to the encapsulation is just like wrapping of a data in a single unit. Just take an example of capsule is there. So in a capsule, different functionality or different modules is get fitted. So basically, encapsulation is just to improve our security purpose. Take an example, same as bank I have given you. So there will be some variable field will be there. So we hide the field from the user. If the user don't know that which field, just they will get or set the values. So for that purpose, we have public getter setter, but all the fields are will be private. Coming to the inheritance is just like inheriting the properties from the parents. Properties may be like a field, or it may be functions, behavior. This can be inherited from the parent class. Or real world example, as we know, we inherit something from our parents. So this is the example of inheritance. And coming to polymorphism like if any object will behave differently in different environment. So same example like water, water is there. So it will be solid, liquid, gas depending upon the environment. So we can achieve polymorphism by two ways: overloading and overriding.
Okay, all right. So like what are the ways in Java by which we can achieve abstraction?
There is two ways. Like one is abstract class, another one is in interface.
Okay, all right. And you have worked with string also, right?
Yes, yes.
So, like when do we use string? And string is a immutable class in Java. So,
Uh,
what makes string as immutable? Can you please elaborate?
so yeah, basically, string is like it's immutable. Mean like once it get created, it values cannot be changed. Just we change the reference, but values will be there. So, for example, whenever you are creating like a application where you want to store the value like password of an user. So for that purpose, we go for string. So for creating password, we will use string, and it is immutable. So password cannot be changed by, like, if we, an user also by themselves trying to append or anything, that should not be done. This is just like a security we are providing. So yeah, for that purpose, we are using string.
Okay, so how can we create a immutable class in Java?
Yeah, so basically there are 5 steps, 4 to 5 steps by which we can create a immutable class. First, we make the class as a final. We make class as a final so that it cannot be inherited, or it cannot be some other subclass will be created from it. As we know that if we get inherited and each property will get itself, behavior will get changed. So first we make the class as a final, and all the behavior like properties or is there. Properties is like all the field are there, that we make the field as a private, or we can make private final also, and there will be a private constructor of it. So after that, we'll make only, we can't set the values, just we want to get the values, so no setter will be allowed, only getter will be allowed. So by this way we can make our class as a public. So take an example of a string. So string is the mutable class. In a string, so many functions are there, like dream function is there, a substring function is there. So just we are modifying the something, but we cannot change the behavior.
So what is string constant pool?
Yeah, string constant pool is the memory in the heap area. So whenever we create any string, there is a two ways of creating a string. That will be create by literal also, then we can create by new keyword also. So whenever we create any string that is not present in the string constant pool, so it will get stored there. So it is just like a heap area memory where all the strings are stored.
Okay, so when we create a string with new keywords, right, where does it get stored in memory?
So it gets stored in the heap area as well. And if it is not present in string constant pool, so it will be in string constant pool as well.
Okay, all right. And what all design patterns have you worked before?
So I worked on singleton design pattern. Uh, Singleton design pattern I used the most in our project, and mostly used on observer design pattern. These two design pattern I used most of the
So,
time.
like, what is singleton and how do you create your own singleton class?
Yeah, singleton. Just like a singleton is a like a design pattern. Whenever you want only like single reference should be there in our whole entire application, in our whole entire project. There will be single reference will be there in the JVM. So for that purpose, we go for singleton class. So we create singleton. So there will be, we create a first of private constructor will be there, and static reference will be there. So we will get the reference instance will be there, and we will create the instance. If instance equal to null, then that time only we will create the object of that class. So by this way we can create the singleton class.
Okay, all right. And how do you handle exception in Java?
Yeah, so like we handle exception in Java by mainly two ways. One is try catch and finally block. Another is by throws. So manually we are throwing the exception. So we like throw, and throw is not we can say like we use for handling, but somehow it matters because propagation class will be there. So it will go to that class. If it did not handle properly, then it will go to its propagation class. So there will be exception propagation will. So
So,
by this.
okay, so I'll just give you a scenario. Let's say I have some code
Okay.
where I've handled the exception, like say it is throwing arithmetic exception, right?
Okay.
So, can we write a multiple catch block and it should be like first I'm handling in first catch block it is handled by exception and then second catch block we are handling arithmetic exception.
No,
So,
this
will that
syntax
work?
is wrong. It's like it will show compile time error. First, there will be subclass after, from specification to generalization. We should move. So, it should be first arithmetic exception, then it should be exception. So basically, whenever we handle exception before, so no use of handling the arithmetic exception, because arithmetic exception is the sub part of the exception. So there is no use of. So for that purpose, we will handle from a specification to generalization. We will go. Our flow will be like that.
Okay. And how do we create our custom exception?
Yeah, so because we extend runtime exception class, and from that we will get the message like what message you are trying to get. So by this purpose, we are creating our custom exception.
Okay. And what is difference between comparator and comparable?
Yeah, comparator and comparable both are used for getting sorting of the data. So comparator, there will be both are the functional interface. So functional interface, as we know, there will be one abstract method will be there. So in comparator, compare method is there, and comparable compared to method is there. And comparator is used to compare, like whenever you want a natural order of sorting, natural order of sorting, then we go for comparator, and whenever you want to custom order of sorting, then we go for comparable.
Okay. All right. So now let's come to the another questions. And what is difference between string and string builder?
Yeah, a string and string builder, basically a string is immutable, and builder is not immutable. And yeah, these are the major difference between string and string builder, and the functions we have difference, just like I basically if we one builder class is there. Whenever you make a object of any, so builder class will just take an example. What is the builder design pattern? Builder design pattern is just like, for example, any class have hundreds of fields. So we can define hundreds of the constructor, or we can define hundreds of the constructor. There will be permutation combination, like only two field at a time you want. So for that purpose, builder design pattern come into the picture to overcome this scenario. And so basically design this in uh, string builder, use builder design pattern, and if you want to convert it into the string, so we are again converting it to the two string. So this is the one of the example of the builder design pattern also. This is the difference between string and string builder.
And what is the purpose of a static keyword in Java?
Yeah, basically static keyword came into the picture whenever you want some memory management. For example, any field we want to that will be globally access to everything. So for that purpose, it come into the picture. And static keyword is just like class level variable. So this is the use of the static keyword.
So our main method is a static method, right? So why the main method is a static?
Yeah, basically our main method is static. So whenever JVM starts, so is what does static? We don't we don't need the reference to call our static method. So for example, if you want to name, like class name is there, just by class name we will call our method. So for that purpose, our method is static. Basically, our JVM will be there. That time no reference will be created of our class. So by starting off only, it will call the main method. So main method is the entry point of our Java program.
Okay. And what all collection have you used?
Yeah, basically I have used hashing collection, and hashing. Yeah, we have used two, set, and another one is map, and I also used a linked list collections as well.
Okay, so what is internal working of hash map? How does it work internally?
Yeah, so basically internal, as we coming to internal working of hash map is basically consists of key and value. So whenever we want to put something in our map, so for example, put one, or value will be Deepak. Our key is one and value is Deepak. So that purpose, whenever key, the hash code of the key will be get calculated by we have object class, and an object has code method is there. So hash code of everything will be get calculated. The hash code of the key will get calculated, and through that hash code, whatever you got, our index will be we get the index. For example, we get the index 3. So one key and value will be Deepak will get stored to the third index of our map, third index of our third index of the bucket. So they will be divided. 16 bucket will be there, and we will get the three. Accordingly, if we put the value, some scenario will come whenever some we get the same hash code and we get the same index. That is the scenario where we are considering as a hashing collision. So to overcome this scenario, we make that bucket will be single, but we will get the reference of the linked list. Like that same key and value will be get stored. So, for example, in this scenario, if the key is if the key is one and the value is Deepak itself, so value is same, and key is also same. The hash code will be same also, and value will be same. So in this purpose, equals method will get executed. It will check the value. If values is also same, then it will override this. If the value is different, for example, instead of Deepak, I put any name like Sumit. So value is different, so it will create a linked list, and that linked list will like point to the that keyword.
Okay, so can we have a key as a null in hash map?
Yes, we have a key as a null.
And where at which index it will be stored if we put null as a key?
So basically, it will store in the zeroth index.
Okay. And what is difference between concurrent hash map and hash map?
Yeah, concurrent hash map, basically the level of locking is different in concurrent hash map. Concurrent hash map, we can say as a thread set that we can read and write at the same time. But instead of the hash map, if you are want to do the same thing, read and write, there will we will come into the exception like concurrent has concurrent modification exception. To overcome this, we use concurrent hash map. So there will be change of the locking in lock in terms of locking. There will be locking on whole 16 bucket, but in concurrent hash map, there will lock individual have a different lock. So by this way we can. This is the
Okay.
difference.
Yep. And what is fail fast and fail safe iterator in Java?
Yeah, fail fast and fail safe iterator is just like to overcome the concurrent modification exception. We use fail safe operator. So just like array list or simple set is there, is come under the fail safe fail fast iterator. And the fail safe we have a copy on write array list or copy on this is the example of the and concurrent hash map is the example of fail face
Okay.
fail
All
safe.
right. And you have worked with Java 8 also, right?
Yeah.
So, what are the features do you know of Java 8?
So Java 8 is like there is big resolution in the Java field after Java 8. So many new things came into the Java. So there will be optimization in memory also garbage collection. They optimize that well. So there will be introduction of the meta spaces. Earlier they're divided into perm generation, and after that meta spaces come into the part. And there will be like functional interface got introduced, and this one lambda expression, this is like writing of functional programming, and optional class get introduced. There will be change in date and time API, and stream API also come into the picture. Yeah, these are the all changes we come into the picture in Java 8.
Okay. And what is optional classes in Java 8?
Yeah, so basically optional classes get introduced to overcome the null pointer exception. We So as a developer, so many times we come into this exception. For example, whenever we create the field and the reference is not initialized, or anywhere, for example, any reference is there that is not came to the that field. So that time, and we are trying to access the that reference. So that time null pointer exception is coming to the picture. To overcome this, optional class come into the picture, and there are so many methods are there in optional class. So by which we can check.
Okay, what is lambda expression?
Yeah, lambda expression is the way of writing our code in concise and more readable way. This is just like functional programming. So, yeah.
So, where is the use of lambda expression in Java?
So basically, whenever like our functional interface is there, and one functional interface, then we know it should be the one abstract method will be there. So to write, instead of writing this one implementation and everything just in a one line, we will implement just take example of thread is there. So instead of we runnable thread and we are giving implementation of run class, so we will directly give the implementation and call our run method in a
Okay,
single line.
so you are aware of multi-threading also?
Yeah.
So, what are the ways available to create a thread?
So basically, we create thread by two ways. One is implementing a runnable interface. Another is extending thread class.
Okay. And what is the use of wait, notify, and notify all method?
Yeah, this is just these are the methods present in our object class as well, object class method. So this is like for inter thread communication. For example, one thread is there. For example, more than two threads is running our project. One thread is there that want to wait, like it will be wait, and so that other thread will start execution. So it will wait. It will give the thread T1 dot wait, and if it will, then it will notify also, like notify another thread and notify all the threads that is waiting, so that it can execute their execution. So for that purpose we used wait, notify, and notify for, and this is basically used in synchronized manner.
Okay. Okay, so can you please share your screen?
uh, it is visible.
Yes. I have given you some code snippet. Can you copy it and tell me like what will be the output of these two lines of code?
Yeah. So basically, in the first line of the code, we will get 30 tests. So it is a test is the string, and this is the what you say integer. So it will first sum it, and after that it will this plus operator will act as a concatenate. So it will first, then we'll get 30, and it will concatenate as test. So we will get the 30 test, and then in second case, first we have got testing, so it will concatenate is this also, and we become test 10, and again it will concatenate, so it will become the string, and after that it will concatenate to 20 also, so we will get test 10 20.
Okay, all right. So the another question, I'll just give you some query to write using Stream API.
Okay.
So let's take you have an integer array. If you have ID, you can open that ID also. That's fine for me.
Okay.
Uh,
Sorry. Yeah.
so you are given a string, and you have, let's take any string. Let's take a string, not a string array. You are taking a string array, just a
Okay.
string.
Yeah.
Let's take Bangalore or anything, gigs for gigs. So you have to find using Java 8 stream API. First non-repeating character in that string.
Okay. Then filter value equal to get key, key. We get this one map, click here. It will get a string. We don't want a string character. We want a single character. So let so list character. So check overall. So yeah, first okay. So get it, got it. We are and first of else. So, so yeah. Sorry, it's taking time, but I will come to the else. Yeah, so we got that.
Yeah, so can you explain like how have you done?
Okay, control Z. So basically, this one is there. So we make a map. In map, we get the values of all the keys and we keys, and it will be keys will be like G, E, K. That will be character will be key, and value will be how much time it will come. So starting, we convert it into the string, and then we map into the object. After that, this one will be the object map of this character. After that, we are grouping by. Grouping by is just like converting into the map, and we used a simple function identity. There will be a function class where we have one identity property will be there. Instead of that, I am just simplifying a equal to a and a linked hash map. We have object create the object of the linked hash map. So linked hash map we use because we want to maintain the order first. That purpose we use linked hash map. After that, counting, as we told you, we are maintaining the count of this and counting. Yeah, again, here we will get every things like keys and values of all the things. Then we entry set will be there, and entry set will be the set of the keys and value. And again, we are converting into the string. Now we are checking the values. If values equal to one, whose values equal to one, because we want the first non-repeating character. So non-repeating character means that will be that one only. And after that we are getting key and find first. So first value, I was not using first, I was struggling there. So I was find first will be there. So this is the optional, it will return optional, like whatever, or find first dot get will be used also. That will return the value of the optional class as discussed. There will be some method will be there. So after that we will get the value of our first, that is f. If you change the here any word, then will you get some other.
Okay, all right, I got it. Now you can stop sharing your screen. Now let's coming to Spring Boot. So, what all annotations have you used in Spring Boot?
Yeah, basically Spring Boot coming to the starting of any Spring Boot application, there will be a Spring Boot application will be that consists of the three annotation that is enable auto configuration, and the component scan. After that, whenever we are making any REST API, that time we are some stereotype annotation we can that come into the picture, just like at the rate repository for persistence and data layer, at the rate service, at the rate REST controller, or at the rate controller. So these are the mainly annotation come into picture whenever we are globally handling any exception. That time we come into the picture REST controller advisor and exceptional handler will come into the picture. And any like configuration we want to make, like swagger configuration or anything, that also we use configuration. And there is post construct and pre construct also is there in whenever like we want to give some default values to our database or anything before our application is start, we want to give something, so that can be used. After that, at the rate values is there, at the rate profiler is there, and yeah, these are the annotations. Schedulers are also there in enable scheduling and scheduling, enable caching, at the rate caching. These are the things are.
Okay. So, what are scopes in Spring Boot?
Yeah, Spring like beans scope.
Yes.
Scope of the bin. So yeah, basically beans scope is like whenever we are creating any object, so it's a scope by default. It is singleton. So basically, we have five scope in our Spring Boot. First one is singleton. Another one is prototype. After that, application, WebSocket, and a request. Yeah, request or session. This is the these are the five.
Okay. So, how do we map our Java Pojo classes to database?
Okay, so for that purpose, we use entity annotation will be there. So entity annotation that will convert to is Hibernate annotation, that will whatever the structure we have provided in fields are there, that will convert it to the column name, and what that is the by simple way we can use. And
Okay.
there are many annotation also at the rate column, at the rate, like we want to any primary key at the rate ID, and there are also want to many miss after that so many annotations are there.
Okay, all right. And how do we make connection with the database in Spring Boot project?
Making connection, first we will dependency. We will get a dependency. Dependency is just like a jar file that will present in the Maven central repository. So we will get a dependency. For example, we are getting we have want to scroll MySQL database. So we will first dependency of data JPA, started a package of data JPA, and MySQL driver also. After that, we will in application.property. Application.property is a file where we set all the internal configuration. So in that properties, we will set up the properties of our database, just like database driver class.